So it's like early in the morning at like, my flight was early at 6 a.m. and then at 8 a.m. I was back in Austin. And then I go, text him, I'm here. And he goes, alrighty, I'm right around the corner. And then I text him, he gets my luggage, puts it in the car, and then we drive home and we don't talk. Keep in mind, I've only saw him for about a week since December. I mean, like, we didn't have much to talk about. It's because it's like, I don't tell them anything, and they're like, she doesn't tell us, it must not be important. If I'm doing good, they don't really care if I'm doing good. If I'm doing bad, it's just like, so what's our money going towards? If you're, like, we need like a refund in our investment kind of thing. And I'm like, I'll get there when I get there, and I'll let you know when I have your money. If I don't like achieve something, they always go like, so why do you think you didn't get it? Like, come on, there's a reason why you didn't like do the best you could, or you didn't do something. But it's just like that like secret like judgment and pressure that they put on me. And so now it kind of feels like I have to put that on myself, me having to be like, oh, I have to be the best and I have to be like amazing at everything and anything. That's because I feel like stress is like a motivational factor in my life. And if I acknowledge its presence, yeah, like I get stressed and I get like kind of anxious. But it's like, if I'm not feeling that, I don't feel a drive to do more things and challenge myself and do more. So a feeling of like stress and anxiety is a feeling that, oh, I'm actually doing something and being productive with my time. And wherever I can find stress, I need to go there and get my stress. Like something that just became instinct is thinking of being successful. How well can I do this? How will it benefit me? And like, should I go do it because it'll benefit me and I can do it great, or like be the best at it? I feel like I'm happy, so I don't expect anything more. I don't like expect to have a better relationship. I've gotten to this point. There's so much that's already happened. Like, how much would a better relationship actually improve my life? Whenever people talk about having a good relationship with their family, I like secretly judging them so hard for trying so hard to have a relationship with them. I don't know, I feel like just general, like trying hard to have a relationship with people. It's like you shouldn't shape your life for people, you should shape your life for you, and then people will fall into place in your life how they should fall into place.
As I got older, I realized like I wish I had a better relationship with him. Otherwise, because then, my family life would be so much happier. I think I know it would be happier because I see all these people like having good relationships with their parents, and I'm like, well, why can't it be like that for me? My dad really wanted me to be a boy because in Chinese tradition, it's like the boy carries on the family name, like has a kid, blah, blah, blah. And so when I turned out to be a girl, like it was pretty disappointing for him. But also like, I know he was always gonna wish that I was a boy, and I'm never gonna be. So I guess that just makes it a little more disappointing for him. I know like a lot of girls when they're younger, they say like, oh, I wanna marry my daddy or someone just like him. And I think about it and I'm like, I could never do that to myself. I could never even let myself get close to a person like him because I know how toxic it is. It makes me think about the kind of relationship I want to have for myself with like my boyfriend right now and just other people in my life. Very emotionally abusive, I think. Never physically because that would be awful, but like he'll yell at her for doing the smallest things wrong and he'll just like belittle her and make her feel so bad. And whenever I'm around that kind of behavior, like it just makes me so frustrated because I don't understand how anyone could be like that to another person, much less their wife or their family. So every time I see that, I'm like, I literally do not understand how I am half of you. Like that's insane. And then by seeing him act like that, I just like can't let myself get close to him. And it sucks because he's tried even now just to talk to me about stuff. And then every time I like kind of get close to him, I see him act that way towards my mom and I'm like, forget it, like it's not happening. It makes it a very miserable household and I hate it. Well, it's definitely set a clear example of what I shouldn't do for other people. I think, like, friends are important because I think my parents don't have enough friends. And if they did, I think it would make their lives a lot better. And so I always try to surround myself with people that make me happy. I don't think my dad does enough of that. That's a big reason why maybe he takes it out on my mom, because he doesn't have as many like connections here, which is understandable. It's like I said, it's a cultural thing and an immigrant thing. My dad, and every time he gave me money, I would just feel so obligated to do something for him, and I wouldn't want to feel that way. So now every time I go out with my boyfriend, like, I will insist on paying for my own meal, and he'll let me because I've explained to him why. But it's just been really hard for me to take money from him. If I let him pay for me, then I owe him something, because that's the way it is with my dad, and so it makes me very uncomfortable. The thing I really want to change is, like, I wish I could talk to him more, but I don't even have his number saved in my phone right now. It's because I never feel the need to reach out to him. He's never going to see me as an equal, and I've kind of accepted that. It's fine. Like, I know what I'm worth. I don't need him to be like, oh, like, you're just a girl, like, you're just a 19-year-old girl, like, what do you know? I can't let myself do that to myself. It's awful.
My mom picked me up from basketball practice with my aunt. And my mom got out of the car and said she needed to tell me something. But I had a story from the morning that I really wanted to tell her. I was like, wait, can I tell you this first? And then she like got in the car and I told her. And then the entire car ride home I kind of knew. And then we get to the garage, she's like, okay, so like we're walking in the house and she's like, so I need to tell you something. I'm like, is it about Dad? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, is he dead? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I figured. I do remember the last time I saw him. He looked at me and I was like saying bye. In hospice, and like, it was weird because he looked at me but like he wasn't there. I think I was a lot less pessimistic before he died. So it's basically like pessimism, the acceptance that shit happens. I get really mad when people tell me that shit happens. I don't get angry a lot, I get angry when people tell me. Like, well, you know shit happens. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking know. You don't know that shit happens. You know the same, but you haven't lived it. It's made me view relationships as more temporary. Like, people come and people go, but that's just the way of life. Although leaving and dying are two different things, I think death is easier. I think it's harder to know that someone is out there and actively choosing not to be a part of your life than realizing that they had no say in the matter. Like, they took an IQ test one time, and my mom scored like 2 points higher than him, and he was like kind of salty about that because he did not like the idea that she was smarter than him. I mean, the IQ test is on a standard deviation of 20 points, so she wasn't really smarter than him. They're just pretty equal, but he likes the idea. He would like to think that he's the smartest over everyone. And so, like, yeah, there comes from that. So I just come from a family that values intelligence, and so I think it's valuable that my parents are intelligent. And I learned what being smart can get you. And I pity the fact that other people can work so hard, but be limited by their own capacity. Money is more of security, and I just want a lot of it. My family was at the point where you should be set. My dad made $300,000 a year for multiple years. He had a net worth of $3 million. You think you're fine. You don't think you will go back to being broke. Then we did. Not because we're stupid with money. My parents are far from stupid. And because that's all part of why I need such a large amount. Because otherwise I will constantly be worried that something will happen. Because if there's one lesson I've learned in life, it's that shit happens. Because I don't feel like I know him. And so, like, if my dad just magically appeared today, I would be very confused. Even if it made sense as to why he came back. I've had dreams about it, actually. had dreams where like scientists brought him back and I knew he was coming. And then I was like, just didn't know what to do. It scares me to think that I don't wish him to be alive. Because it seems so awful to be like, yeah, I wouldn't want my dad back. But at the same time, it's like, I am who I am because he's dead. And I don't really know him anymore. But that's not really my biggest fear. My biggest fear is the fact that I feel like I'm forgetting him.